Hey everybody, it's Joe from Papa Jobo's, and today we're going to be talking about Peaky Blinders Season 6. There are going to be spoilers in this. I'm going to sum this season up with one word, and that is bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. It makes no sense to me for a final season. It's not to say it's without its good elements. It does have the good acting, and it does have a nice ambiance. There's also some really nice scenes in it. I really enjoyed the scene where Thomas at the end sees his little daughter who passed away, and she hugs him. As a father, I really love that scene, and she guides him to the fire pit where he learns a secret. That was something that I thought was cool and was interesting. The secret, the fact that he was lied to about having a tumor in his spine by fascists was a surprise to me. I'm usually able to figure things like that out, but I didn't figure it out in this case, and I thought it was a cool little twist. And it worked for me. But there's also the scene where Arthur is fighting in the alleyway in front of their bar with the IRA thugs who've come to kill him. I thought that was the best scene in the whole show. It was good. It was done well. I loved the cinematography, and I loved the action. It was awesome. There's other little things to like about the show here and there, but there's a lot of really odd stuff that goes on. At the end of season 5, you were led to believe that there was going to be a setup between Michael and Shelby, Thomas Shelby, fighting against each other, and that buildup was good and it was awesome. And I thought that this show would be about that. But what did they do with Michael? They kept him in prison for the entire show, literally the entire show. He has some semi-important scenes in the first episode, and then the rest of it's like whatever. He's written off. He gets released from prison, goes to a little island where Thomas Shelby inexplicably flies to alone, inexplicably knows that they have a bomb, inexplicably knows where to move the bomb to, and ends up thwarting an assassination attempt against him. Now, they tried to establish earlier that Thomas has people everywhere, and so he's going to know everything. It just doesn't work because they don't show it and they don't explain it other than to say that. And that is a common theme in this season where they have just taken storylines and they are all over, which is why I think it's bizarre. They have actors like they have Ida and Finn just completely written them off. Ida is in this show for like half an hour, and she's really just following Thomas around everywhere, going, "Well, I'm filling in for him." It's more like he took a day off work and she's filling in, and it was weird. It was bizarre, and it didn't work for me. They had one scene where she's fighting against fascists who are outside her house, and it's really rushed, really bizarre, really odd. And here's the problem, is that they bring in a final season. They bring in a bunch of new characters. Thomas Shelby suddenly has a new son who's instantly loyal. I know that they had like a couple scenes where he was like, I might leave, but then he just becomes instantly loyal, knows all about the Peaky Blinders, ends up being the one that says the saying, for the Peaky effing Blinders. And it just rang hollow. And he did it against Finn, who inexplicably betrays the family. There's no lead up to it. There's no setup. There's no scenes establishing that. It's bizarre. These things just suddenly happen, like the writers were running out of ideas or just wanted to get to the end. Now, there is going to be a movie about this to end up and wrap up the series. I don't think they can do everything they need to do in it unless they completely ignore a lot of what they did in season 6. There's also a really bizarre storyline that occurs with Thomas Shelby trying to defeat fascists, and he does it by running his organization as a fascist. I found that always a bizarre part of the whole series. He did it. He's done it through most of the series when that storyline was introduced. He's fighting it with fascism, and we're supposed to believe he's like this really good guy fighting against it while also running his organization. That maybe that was part of the writing plan. Maybe that was part of what they wanted to do. I just find it weird. Little hypocritical. There's also the fact that he joins this organization, infiltrates it, they completely accept him, and then out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, they give no indication that this is going to happen. They all turn on him and want to kill him. Why? They don't explain it. They don't even hint at it. You can infer that Jack Murphy, not Joseph Kennedy, by the way, Jack Nelson, not Murphy, Jack Nelson, who's supposed to be, like the maker said, supposed to be based off of Joseph Kennedy. So not Joseph Kennedy decides that he wants to kill Thomas Shelby all of a sudden. And they kind of infer that it's because Thomas might sell his giant amount of drugs to the Jewish people. That's what you're left to infer, I guess. But it's out of absolute nowhere. These people want to kill him. He's completely infiltrated him. And normally in a show, when you want to let someone or the audience know why this is happening, you have a scene explaining it. They don't do that. It's just out of nowhere, and it's bizarre. That's the name for it. This is a bizarre season that really let me down. Is there woke stuff in it? There's not really. There's kind of like this forced, a little bit with the forced women are powerful thing. And there's this new character on that same, let's go along that same storyline or that same theme, where she's the English or British Ava Braun, and she's psychotic and weird, and she gets way too much screen time in place of established characters like Ada and Finn and even Arthur, whose storyline is interesting, but they never really flesh it out. It's an odd season. And they brought in way too many characters. They shouldn't have done it. They should have focused on the main characters and just let us see their story, but they didn't. And they really, really should have built up the Michael Thomas conclusion. They didn't do that at all. It was just, here it is at the beginning. Here's 5 episodes without Michael in it. Here they are at the end. Oh, look, he came to a conclusion. It was horribly done. Just honestly, it was really bad for me. The acting's good. The set pieces are awesome. It looks cool. There's some interesting scenes that work for me. And then there's just a huge letdown with the storyline, unfortunately. And that's bizarre. I really hope they get it together with the movie because I really like this series. But in the end, I give this season a very generous 5 out of 10. It wasn't good. And I was disappointed with it, especially for a final season. Tell me what you think in the comments. I want to say thank you to all the people who've subscribed. I'm still gaining subscribers, even though I haven't been able to post as much. If you like what I'm saying, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, share, like, let people know I am trying to grow this thing. If you don't like stuff, leave a comment. Let's talk about it. If your comment is going to be nihilistic and rude and cruel, then I'm obviously not going to respond to it, but feel free to leave them. It'll help me with my algorithm. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about this show and about this season specifically. I'm Joe from Papa Jobo's. Peace.